Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. Betwabu, betwabu. All right. Today we start in the book of Ezekiel. All right. It is Monday, July the 20th, 2020, day 203. So let's go ahead and get started. Ezekiel chapter 1. Talaim, betwabu, betwabu. Hey, girl, hey. All right. Ezekiel chapter 1. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river Chebar, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of Yahsawubona. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiachin's captivity, the word of Yahuwah came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Chebar, and the hand of Yahuwah was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it. And out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. Betwabu, Trina. And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides, and they 4 had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they 4 had the face of a man, the face of a lion on the right side, and they were 4 had the face of an ox on the left side. They 4 also had the face of an eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined to one another, and covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward. Whither the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. Now, as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel was upon the earth by the living creatures with his 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl, and they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work as it were as a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them 4. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them, and when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. When those went, these went, and when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was the color of the terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had 2, which cover on this side, and every one had 2, which cover on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of a host. When they stood and let down when they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the stone was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. And I saw the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about, as the appearance of the bow that is in a cloud, in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of Yahuwah. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of the one that spake. Yes. I know, baby, sleep. Go upstairs. Shh. Ezekiel chapter 2. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak to thee. And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. For they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith Yahuwah. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, meaning whether they hear you or they ignore you. Yet shall they know that there has been a prophet among them. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words, though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions. Be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though it be a rebellious house. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. They are most rebellious. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be thou not rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat what I give thee. And when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. Last chapter for today, Ezekiel chapter 3. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill the bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. Now let me pause, let me say something, because I was thinking about something as I was reading through this today, right? So chapter 1 starts off with this terrifying vision. And normally, when we have visions that Yahuwah gives to prophets, they are explained if we keep reading. But for some reason, this doesn't, now I could be wrong, this doesn't seem to be explained in here. So what that says to me, either the next chapter or two is actually explaining it, but we're not making a connection, or something was removed. So I know there's a lot of people that they draw this out, this chapter, the wheel within the wheels, and they go to try to explain it or whatever, but something seems off to me. I just wanted to make that note, because I listened to it like 4 different times this morning while I was up listening to it. I was on the treadmill, and I'm like, where is the explanation of this vision? Like I never thought about it before until today. So I listened to it in like 3 different versions. The KJV, the NLT, the Message version. I'm like, let me listen a little bit more. I'm like, something is missing here. You know, I was like, Father, am I tripping? I was like, is chapter 2 is this explaining the vision that he saw? Is this explaining the captivity of it? But at this point, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not making a connection just yet with the vision that Ezekiel had, you know, so I just wanted to bring that out. So I'm gonna keep reading, just in case y'all had been wondering, but that's something I noticed. But if you know what a translation is, the interpretation of this dream is, please let us know. Help a sister out, you know. Okay. So Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of an hard language, whose words that thou cannot understand. Surely, had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. He said they're not going to listen to you because they don't listen to me. Hey, back upstairs. No, leave him alone. Everybody back upstairs.
That's my baby.
I know, that's your baby brother. You, back upstairs, Bella. Don't wake him up. Go.
What is that?
He's sleeping. Go upstairs. Thank you. Baby sleep. I want to keep him asleep until I'm done. Is it possible that it's not fulfilled yet? Tiffany said, it's possible, Tiffany. It's possible that this is just it's not gonna, I know now that it's not gonna leave me alone until I figure this out, until I find out where. Even reading through the apocryphal books, nothing triggers this for me, you know. So I'm like, okay, so there's another missing book or missing parts of Ezekiel that they have taken out of here. I don't know. I mean, it could be right here in front of our face, but it's possible that it could not be fulfilled yet, you know. So verse 7, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. And as an adamant harder than flint have I made thy looks, though they be a rebellious house. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears. And go, and get thee to them of the captivity unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, Thus saith Yahuwah, whether they will hear, or whether they will forbear. Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me the voice of a great rushing, saying, Blessed be Yahuwah from this place. Wait a minute. Oh, snap. Okay, hold on, y'all. I think the interpretation is right here in front of our face. Okay, I'll come back with that. It just dawned on me what we heard in the first chapter, what we read. Listen, in verse, let me just read this, because he said his voice sounded like a great rushing. But also in here, in verse 24 of chapter 1, and when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of the speech, as the noise of a host. When they stood, they let down their wings. Okay, so I think, I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to look more into this, y'all. Give me 1 second. Upstairs, go. Jace, stay upstairs, go. Turn it down. Go. Okay, sorry, they was about to get real hype. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be looking into that, and I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna have I think it might be right in front of us. It's just I gotta figure it out. Okay. Verse 12. Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice of a great rushing, saying, Blessed be the glory of Yahuwah from this place. I heard also the noise of the wings of the living creatures that touch one another, and the noise of the wheels over against them, and the noise of a great rushing. So the Spirit lifted me up and took me away, and I went into bitterness in the heat of my spirit, but the hand of Yahuwah was upon me. Then I came to them of the captivity at Tel Abib, that dwelt by the river Kabar, and there I sat where they sat, and remained there astonished among them 7 days. And it came to pass at the end of 7 days that the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, Thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand. If you didn't get that, he said, listen, go tell him he better stop it, because he ain't listening to me. And now, so I remember he said they're not going to listen to you because they're not listening to me, but I'm going to send you anyway so they'll know that there has been a prophet among them. He said, go tell the wicked to stop doing their wickedness and return to me. He said, but if you don't go tell them and they go and they die in their sin, he said, they're going to surely die, but now I'm going to require their blood at your hand because you should have went and told them. It's almost like he already knew, y'all had already told him that they weren't going to listen to him when he told them. So some people say, well, why even waste my breath? But you still need to go because Yah is faithful. He said at least they'll know, because they're going to know in the midst of themselves dying that they were warned and they shouldn't have been there because Yah had told them, and then he sent a prophet to tell them. So they can never say that y'all wasn't faithful and, oh, you never told me. I told you, and I sent the prophet multiple prophets, but you didn't listen. You didn't listen to them because you didn't listen to me. I'll read verse 18 again. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, that same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Meaning, he said, if you don't Ezekiel, I'm going to hold you accountable for not going to tell him. Verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked ways, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. He said, so if you go and tell him, and he still doesn't turn, he's going to die in his sin, but you will be acquitted because you want to tell him, to give him final warning. He said, so you good at this point. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die. Because thou hast not given him warning, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at his hand. And that's Yahuwah said, if a righteous man turn from his righteous way and he moves past the stumbling block that I set in his path to stop him, man, I shouldn't be doing it. Oh man, everything started going wrong. But you inwardly know that what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing anyway. And it seems like everything is trying to stop you. Yah is trying to save your life. He's trying to stop you on the path of destruction. Let me read it again. Verse 20, again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die. Because thou hast not given him warning, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at his hand. Like all the righteous stuff you done up to this point doesn't even matter anymore. You died because you did this and you knew better. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also thou hast delivered thy soul. And the hand of Yahuwah was there upon me, and he said unto me, arise, go forth into the plain, and I will there talk with thee. And I arose and went forth into the plain, and behold, the glory of Yahuwah stood there, as the glory which I saw by the river Chebar, and I fell on my face. Then the Spirit entered into me, and set me upon my feet, and spake unto me, and said unto me, go shut thyself within thy house. But thou, O son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee, and shall bind thee with them. Thou shalt not go out among them. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb. And thou shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. So pretty much it's almost like the same thing that he told Jeremiah. Jeremiah, no longer pray for this people, don't say nothing else to them. So he told Ezekiel he was going to make his tongue cleave to the roof of his mouth, so he couldn't even say anything to them anymore. But I'll read it again. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and thou shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. But when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahuwah, he that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. That was Ezekiel 1, 2, and 3. And I do believe the more I got to go back and I got to read it a few times and just compare. But I think now that I'm reading through this, I'm thinking now that the chapters, although it doesn't say, because in other books, like in Daniel, he said, and this is an interpretation of the dream thereof, or it points out to you that this is the interpretation. So that's what I think I missed here. So I'm thinking that the next chapters is actually explaining what this vision is, but I got to read it a few more times, and once I get it all together, I'll explain it to you. That way, we can see this clearly. All right, y'all. So it's day 203, July the 20th, 2020, Monday. So let's go ahead and read the blessing, because my kids and my grandbabies are up and they're running around. Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people, I will see you bright and early on the morrow. Greetings, meditations will overcome. Yes and amen. Thank you, Uncle Nathaniel. I do believe that. As I was reading, I think I just spoke too fast, but I'm glad I said it out loud so I could hear myself. And as I was reading, I was really paying attention, and it just triggered my thoughts, and it started kind of fusing some pieces together. So yeah, the more I meditate on it, I'm going to share with you what I come up with. And if you guys get something, please share it with me. A sister is not done learning. You know, I'm going to be learning until the day I enter into eternity. And then I'm going to be learning more there, I'm sure. Because I believe it's in Ezra, where it talks about after we pass away, we're gonna, once we enter into the spiritual realm, the infinite world, the non-physical that we can't see with our eyes unless Yahuwah actually opens our eyes to see, it's here. But while we're here in this realm, we can only see the physical unless Yahuwah opens your eyes to see the realm that's here all around us. But when we pass on into eternity, or we enter into that realm, it says that we will learn the truth about everything, that the truth about everything that there is, the truth about our life. And if I remember correctly, I think it's a period of 7 days that you learn about all that has happened. Days, I guess. Days, so we can kind of look at time, but there is no time in the eternal realm, in the spiritual realm. It's infinite. There is no time there. But I guess so we can understand, it'd be like a period of it says 7 days, but you get what I'm trying to say. But anyway, people, I'm done running my mouth. I'm out of here. Peace.